Robby Starbuck, what is Harley Davidson doing?
Dennis, essentially, Harley Davidson has adopted the woke agenda of the very far left, and it starts with their CEO, Joshin Zeitz. Joshin is an all-out activist, and it's very clear from his career. I've outlined all of the different things that he's been a part of, but he's a proud activist who started something called the B Team with Richard Branson. The B Team's explicit purpose is to replace existing leaders in corporate America who are not woke with new leaders who are sufficiently woke and will inject all the social environmental policies that they desire into corporate America. And they especially seek to undermine traditional brands. So Joshin is not what you would consider sort of a natural CEO for Harley. He's not American. He came from Europe, from Germany specifically. And in doing so, brought a lot of the social progressive far left values that he had instituted at his previous company. And so what does that look like in reality? Well, employees were recommended a book called White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, which essentially operates under the premise that America is a racist country and that it's entirely sort of supported by white supremacy. So again, it's an explicitly racist book that seeks to sort of pit white against black in our country. And so you've got to ask, why would an employer want to help spread racial division that is spread by a book like this that's extremely divisive? It's not a question of if the book's divisive, whether they think the book's a great book or not. It is unquestionably divisive and has been a source of a lot of arguing and fighting in our country because of the fact that it pits us the way that it does. And I think that even if you operate, just from sort of a standpoint of what does employment discrimination look like, I think it looks a whole lot like this, where you're racially dividing people. But beyond that, they also joined the LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce, which I didn't know existed in Wisconsin. I didn't know it existed at all, that we were creating chambers of commerces that had to do with just what type of sex you like. I think that that's pretty weird. I think, 10 years ago, we probably would have said any sort of talk of your sexual proclivities at work was some form of sexual harassment. And I would say that's probably the right way to look at it. And we need to get back to a reality where sanity rules again in corporate America and the customer is king. And that's only going to happen when customers realize that BlackRock is not walking through their door to buy a bike. State Street's not walking through to buy a bike. Vanguard's not coming in to buy a bike. Bill Gates is not coming in to buy a bike. It is the actual customer you need to walk in and buy your products. And the only way to remind them of that is to really expose what's going on at these companies, as I've done with Tractor Supply, John Deere, and now Harley Davidson, to really try to extract change by them realizing that they're out of alignment with their customer base. Whether they want to go kicking and screaming or not, the reality is what it is. They have a fiduciary duty to stockholders to actually do things that are in the best interests of the company's financial bottom line. That is not the case with the way that they've adopted wokeness, because it's clearly out of alignment with their customer base.
For the full episode of The Dennis Prager Show, go to pragertopia.com, sign up, and become a full member.